We want to thank everybody for coming out. Give yourselves a round of applause. First of all, I'd like to give a special shout out to one of my political mentors. He's been around the block more than once. This is his backyard. Hopefully he'll be representing us as the next city councilman for El Barrio. He's helped out state senators, assemblymen, mayors, and everybody around the sun. I was a community liaison at 19, and he was a big dog then. Now, I don't know, he may be a vampire because I've aged 30 years and he still looks the same. Can we get a round of applause for our next city councilman for Spanish Harlem, Federico? You want to say a quick few words, brother?
Sorry, just 2 words. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Federico Colon, somebody that I know for close to 25 years. And this is his turn. It's time to elect Federico Colon for the city council. Please put your hands together once again and dig into your pockets and donate to Federico Colon's campaign also. Let's give him a fighting chance to become the next city councilman in the area, Federico Colon.
Thank you. I just want to acknowledge somebody who's responsible for me being into politics. El Señor Adam Powell. Yeah. Right? Mr. Powell. I was people's staff of Adam, and everything that he used to say this. Todo lo bueno que yo te enseño, you gotta use it moving forward in life, because you're getting a university from me. And he was right. And he did an amazing job. And I'm just going to explain to you what I would like to do is follow in his footsteps. He made computer labs in this district, in every single building in the district, computer labs back in the days. Okay? Winner, later on, came out in the New York Times because he did a couple of computer labs in his schools. So a Latino does his district with computer labs, and nobody knows that he did it. Another guy, congressman, does a few schools, and he's on the front page of the New York Times Metro. So that's the way that politicians look at the Latino elected officials. We'll do the work, but then we don't get the credit. But they will accuse us, or they will go after us every time we hiccups or something bad happens in the community. So that said, I appreciate Mr. Power for the chance that he gave me, and he did an amazing job. And I could tell you, his office was always a revolving door. He had veteran centers. On Friday, we used to get about 250 veterans from across the city because they have no place to get their, because it goes by the percentage.
Yes, service connected.
There you go. And then he did an amazing job. We used to do food pantry, clothing, taxes. Now everybody does the taxes. But I started with taxes in the community. Not only that, but the parks, the streets, the pavement, and everything was on the up and up. The community needed something, used to come to our office. They didn't go to anybody else's office. They came to our office because we solved their problems. We solved whatever we could. We remember one time there was a problem with the NYCHA, the fire stairs that they put the mattresses, and he ended up working out with the commissioner to bring kids to monitor on those homes. So my point is, I would like to start again what we stopped, because then after we stop, I'm not saying that elected officials today do not do their job, but they become heavier politicians. They really don't take care about communities. And the further they live away from the community, the further they go to their offices, like if they go upstate, they go to City Hall, or they go any other place of Washington. So the further they go, the quicker they forget about the community. So, there's no more jobs for the young people. And then we say no to drugs, but yes to what? There's no alternative. The unemployment rate in our community is higher than any other rate in the city of New York. We have more housing stock in here than any place else. But guess what? We should be organizing this community, not to fall prey to the developers, because now if you live in NYCHA, they give you a transfer and they give you a voucher for 9 years. That means that the Second Avenue subway in 10 years from now will be a different kind of people owning this community or working in this community. So they're trying to privatize the housing, and that's not going to help us. They're trying to sell it. But you know what? There's enough land. Maybe we should privatize it. Maybe we should give it to the people that live there now. But they know. They'd rather give it to a developer. They give them $100,000 per apartment, a low-interest loan, for them to fix the building, and then they can buy the building because they have done that on the west side. So there's a lot of problems that we need to do, and it's very simple. The best social program of anybody for our community is not welfare, it's not food stamps, none of that stuff. You know what it is? A good paying job. Second Avenue subway. Second Avenue subway. Find out how many of those jobs are from this community. Hardly. So we need to go and lobby, and we should march. They have a training center in Johnson Houses, and that's never open. So we should be training those kids to become apprentices. They get $45 an hour, and after they go on a journeyman as a laborer, it's $80 an hour. $80 an hour. That's what we need to bring in this community. Jobs, and the jobs are there. That project is going to be 20 years old. By the time they finish, will be between 15 and 20 years. You know, we can educate the next generation of kids that they will become tradesmen, electricians, plumbers. And it's right here, and right in our yard. And what do? The politicians, $700 million a congressman gave to MTA. But listen to this. MTA, anything that has the word authority at the end, can create their own bond issue. It doesn't have to be with tax money. They could create their own bond issue and pay to subsidize that. But now they have congested prices. So you know what? I don't mind if they do that, but give something back to the community that we belong. This belongs to us, the taxpayers. But anyway, thank you so much, and I hope that the team will make it. Joel is a great guy. I knew him when he was like this young, and look at me now. You know, he's like a big man.
And just to simplify what Federico is saying, because he brings up a great point, we always push our kids and say, go to college, go to college. But what he's saying is that everybody isn't built for college. But if we could teach our young people, you're not going to college, but get yourself a trade. You could be a plumber, you could be an electrician. These people sometimes make $40, $60, $80 an hour. I had 200 youth that I work with. They were all selling drugs. And now 170 of them are tradesmen. And when we go out to have dinner, they pay. 30 of them are still in the hood, but you know what? And the bottom line, guys, is Federico is one of us. You saw when we were here for his event. Now he's supporting Ish. If you live in Spanish Harlem, he needs your support. He needs a minimum donation of $10. He needs you to reach out to your friends and family that are from Spanish Harlem and tell them we have one of us that's running for office. He has a fundraiser coming up on Friday. If anybody would like to attend, he has one of his... There's Mildred, Ada... All the beautiful ladies in the first table. I don't know if they're available, but for practical reasons, we're going to say they're all available right now. We're going to do a little bit of white lying, but feel free to speak out to them about Federico's events. This is a grassroots campaign. He needs your support. We need 75 people to give $10, and we need to raise $5,000. Please support Federico. He's one of us. When I was an intern, he helped me, he guided me, he molded me, and I stand on his shoulders. Let's give it up one more time for Federico. Now, speaking about,
and to Federico's point, by the way, I graduated from a vocational high school, and the trades are so important. The trades are what keep New York City moving. So, to Federico's point, it's very important. I'll be talking about the prevailing wage, but yes, vocational trades is very important.
Speaking about when I was an intern, so I was at Lofo Carrion's intern. I was at George Washington University, taking 28 credits, selling ticket stubs at Yankee Stadium, doing some other things that I shouldn't be doing. And I used to go to Albany all the time. And there was this famous guy in Albany that everybody used to talk about. And there was this young snapper assemblyman named Rubencito. And Rubencito, we from the same borough, we came from the same camp. I said, who you hanging out with, Rubencito? He said, in Albany, there's only one person you want to hang out with. He'll show you the ropes. He's a mover and shaker. And he could teach you how to get things done in Albany. And I said, who's that? And he pointed to this tall guy. I said, who's that? He looks like he's in the NBA. He said, that's Adam Clayton Powell. I said, Adam Clayton Powell? I said, Adam Clayton Powell was a Moreno. What are you talking about, brother? That's a Boricua over there. And that's when I got educated and I got the introduction to one of the most influential people in Albany. And his name was Adam Clayton Powell. We've been friends for over 20 years. He's represented us with grace and dignity in City Hall, in Albany. He was one of the pioneers in a lot of legislation. And he showed me that you could be you. You could be real, and you could be effective, and you don't have to be fake. And since that day, whether he was an assemblyman, whether he was a council member, whether he was a lobbyist, he's never changed. And we've been friends ever since. And I always like to bounce things off him. Sometimes I get him frustrated and talk too much, and he tells me, mira, cállate. But he's one of my mentors. I stand on his shoulders, and he supported the campaign from the very beginning. He's just someone that's humble and down to earth, and he showed us a lot in this political arena. Without any further ado, let's give it up for the man, the legend, Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. Hold on.
Adam, real quick, like Joel said, a lot of folks don't understand how Adam's played a role in my life in politics. But as a young man and a young activist, Adam's dad is a famous name, Adam Clayton Powell. And when I was in college, and I was an activist, and I was out there protesting against budget cuts, figuring out what, who, where, when, and how, I ran into Adam Clayton Powell Jr. And I was like, holy moly, are you the son of? And he's like, absolutely. And in my head, I said, I gotta help this guy out. Because at the end of the day, Adam Clayton Powell, this guy right here, just like his dad, has made history for us, representing us in the assembly. Regardless, at the end of the day, this guy right here is someone that I'm very proud of and I'm glad to have as a supporter of mine. Bottom line, thank you, Adam, for being a supporter. Adam Clayton Powell Jr.
Gracias, Ish. Man, all this love. Maybe I should be running for something.
Please don't back.
Maybe I should be running. No, pero gracias, mi gente, y buen provecho para lo que están comiendo. But tonight is about Ish. And I'm happy to have known this brother for more than we can care, 20, 30, something like that. You know, he's a good brother. Nació en Santurce como yo. Can't be wrong. If you born in Santurce, yep. Vaya, Marta. And you know, and this is a great crowd to have all of you here. Don't be discouraged by the numbers. We got a quality crowd. We got people here. District leader from Queens, Marta Flores Vázquez. We have a candidate in East New York, Brooklyn. Jamiliah Rose is here with us. We got a brother district leader from the Bronx. Powell. From the Bronx. Powell, that's right. Can't be wrong, Powell. Just got like to give it up. So we got leadership here. Federico, who's running here for city councils, ran before. As he mentioned, he was my chief of staff back in 1994. And the reason why he was my chief of staff, because I'm running for re-election in 1993, and he was my campaign manager for re-election 1993. In fact, the campaign office was right around here. Was it Lexington between 105th and 106th? 103rd?
Of the hill.
On Lexington. Yep. That's right. So we got a lot of history, and all of you here, Tony Rivera, Joel, I mean, all of you, it's quality crowd. And by the way, I blasted it all over my media, social media. So over 10,000 people know about this here tonight. And more will be coming, but at least we're raising awareness. Creando conciencia, como decimos nosotros, que hay un latino que está cualificado, eminently qualified. This brother has worked for 5 comptrollers. Think about it. Not 2, not 3, not 4, 5. Between New York City and New York State. 5 comptrollers. All right? So nobody is more qualified than this brother right here. That's why I'm proud to be with him. 100%. 100%. I encourage all of you to reach out, again, to your network, like I'll continue to reach out to my network, and we can make this happen, all right? So thank you. Now we're going to hear from the candidate, Ismael Malave. No quiere decir nada. Ish. Oh. All right, Joel. What you got to say, Joel? Thank you all. Please enjoy. Let's continue support.
Real quick. First of all, I want everybody to know how much I appreciate both of these guys, Joel and Adam. Adam is somebody that when I was young, I collected petitions for when he was running for election. And Joel is somebody that when he ran for the city council, he said he was an intern working for Adolfo Carrion, who was someone that I served as the campaign manager for. Joel called me to ask me for advice when he said, I'm going to run for the city council. So to have both of these guys here helping me run for a citywide office is a dynamic moment for me, and I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. So thank you, Joel and Adam.
Let's give it up one more time for Adam playing Pow. I just want to give a few shout outs real quick. I want to shout out my neighbor. I thought I was going to introduce her to people, and she knew everybody in the room. We were in Somos, and we were just kicking it, real recognize real. And she said, where you live? And we found out we were neighbors. You want to say something real quick?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Damaris Tamaris Monet. I have the honor of knowing both of these gentlemen, and as well as Adam, for years, including Dion. Gentleman in the back, where did he go? Oh. Anyways, my apologies, and Chris Johnson. But Chris I know from actually on Twitter, which is really interesting, which is how I met Dion. But real quick, what I wanted to say was I used to work for Senator Jose Peralta. And back in our assembly days and our Senate days, all I ever heard was, I gotta call Ish. I gotta call Ish. I gotta call Ish. I gotta get his advice. I gotta hear from him. I gotta call Ish. And I never met the gentleman until years ago after Peralta had passed away. And we started laughing, and I told him, I was like, so you're the infamous Ish. All I ever heard about was my boss saying, I gotta call Ish. I gotta call Ish. Ish, I appreciate the fact that you're running on behalf of New York City constituency, on behalf of the Puerto Rican constituency, on behalf of all Latinos, and really just on behalf of all the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And just to show you that everybody makes such a big deal, right? Especially now with Trump. Are you red? Are you blue? Are you a donkey? Are you a horse? But the bottom line is we all New York City residents. We black and brown, we deal with the same housing issues, the same educational issues. And just to show you, one of my political people that supported me from the very beginning, when it was just two of us, it was me and him. He is not a Democrat. He's actually taking leadership in the Conservative Party. He's a district leader. I just want to give a special shout out to Dion Powell. We don't give the mic to conservatives, but let me just let them say hi real quick.
Change is here, people. Just letting you know, the blue team doesn't have a monopoly anymore in New York City.
Dion is a High Bridge resident. He's always supported all our endeavors, and we will work with Republicans, conservatives, aliens, whoever cares about community issues, we will support.
Marty Dolan's here. Marty Dolan, Republic advocate. Come up. Marty Dolan.
We have the pleasure of having another citywide candidate here. I made sure that I spoke to Martha, that I got a chance to meet him. If you could just please stand, Marty, and let people know. I'm going to bring Marty up to say a few words. Actually, Martha's going to introduce Marty. I just want to give the last shout outs to everybody else that's here. Thank you so much for coming out. My boy Andy in the back that's letting us do fundraisers at his penthouse. Check us out at 25 Brooklyn Boulevard or at Jimmy's across the street, 26 Brooklyn Boulevard. Stay tuned. Without any further ado, I'm going to let Ish introduce Martha. We got two candidates, let's be very clear, that we supporting for citywide election. Ismael Malave and Marty. His campaign, I guess manager, I don't know what terms we're using. Co-leader, no, I'm talking about for Marty. Mentioned him to me, and she sold him so strongly. I said, I'm all in, and I'm glad I had the pleasure to meet him. And we are supporting him 100%, and we have alliance with that campaign.
I want to, first of all, before I introduce Martha, I want to actually personally thank Jamiliah Rose for coming all the way from Brooklyn with her goddaughter, a dynamic young lady who's going to become a registered nurse, and I'm very proud of her also. I think somebody left a cell phone on the table, though, or some sort of a phone. But let me say something about the lady. This is like a tag team thing, right? We're like tag teaming between Joel, everyone. We're just passing the microphone around because this is how we do. We share family moments, and I want to say something before I give the microphone to Martha. Jose Peralta was someone that I truly believe, had he been here today, he would be endorsing me. And, you know, I was thinking about him the other day, and then all of a sudden, she mentions him to me. So that gave me goosebumps, because just outright out of the blue, I was thinking about Jose Peralta. I was like, you know, this guy, had he been around, he would have been right next to my side. Because I saw some other folks getting endorsed, and I was like, my God, I wish some of my friends were around. And you know what? It's a heavenly sent message not to quit, that I have spirits supporting me, that I am ready to go, that although there's a few people in the room, sometimes this is what it takes. It takes a small group of dynamic individuals to create change. Change, right? Goodbye now. It was really nice talking to you all. God bless. And so, with that, when we talk about change, enjoy your trip back to Europe. When I met Martha Flores Vasquez, a district leader serving, like I said earlier, one of the longest serving district leaders in Queens' history. The Puerto Rican at that, right? Born in the same town like us, Santurce. And someone that I ran into, and she's always been telling me over the years, when are you going to run for office? When are you going to run for office? When are you going to run for office? Well, last September, I saw her at Somos. Last March, I saw her at Somos. And she said, when are you going to run for office? And I said, Martha, I am running for Comptroller. And she said, wait a minute. So with that, Martha Flores Vasquez, here you go.
With that, Martha got very busy, 24/7, helping Malave. So I'm going to introduce Marty Dolan before our beautiful guests leave. Marty, can you please come on up?
Yeah, sure.
Running for public advocate.
Dion.
Marty Dolan, another dynamic New Yorker. Okay, another dynamic New Yorker running for office wants to implement change, and a financier.
It's my pleasure to meet you. Okay, so what does it mean to be from Harlem? What does it mean to be from the Bronx? Or to be from Queens? For me, the problem with the Democratic Party, the problem with New York City, is what I call the skyscraper Democrats. The skyscraper Democrats, they don't know what you people know. They don't know where their local police precinct is. They don't know where their school is. They don't know who their city council member is. They don't know the owner of the hardware store who didn't like it that they put a shed up in front of his store. So I call that the outer borough attitude. And everybody here's got that outer borough attitude, which is that you understand what it takes to run the city, not to run Israel, not to run the Ukraine, not to run some TV show with a red dress or a funny hat. You care about the people that you see every day on your street. So when I was working with Martha, and she came to me and said, we have a problem with illegal prostitution on Roosevelt Avenue. I said, well, what are we going to do about that? She said, well, we're going to go and we're going to put stickers up on the doors of the brothels that say, shut it down. That's what it's like to be from Upper Manhattan. That's what it's like to be from the Bronx, from Queens, from Brooklyn. And we are the people who are going to change New York for the better by taking that outer borough attitude, the real attitude, and bringing it into the city government. Thank you very much, everybody.
I just want to say that I was fascinated neighbor with Adam Clayton Powell, and everybody says something about Adam Clayton Powell, and I have to say something about Adam Clayton Powell because I followed him all the way to Albany every year, twice a year, and then to Puerto Rico for all the conferences. And I followed him, and I was always behind him telling him, be careful with this one, be careful with that one, because all the women were in love with Adam Clayton Powell. Do you see those good looks? Boricua.
Heard about you.
So anyway, I'm very proud of him, and he is very powerful. He has a lot of name recognition, and if anybody wants a picture with him, take a picture with him. Promote yourself.
First one is free.
The first one is free, okay?
$20.
And if you ever want to go to really great parties, make sure you get on that guest list for Adam Clayton Powell. I love you, Adam. I love you, Malave. I love you, Marty. And it's with love that I get involved in these campaigns, and it's from the heart. So I want the best for you. Let's make it happen. Give them a round of applause.
How about some jokes?
I'm going to introduce Ismael Malave. I know Ismael Malave for over 26 years. And yes, every year and every time I went up to that conference, following my leader, Adam Clayton Powell, I would run into Ismael Malave. And I would say to him, when are you going to run? When are you going to run? And he finally told me he was running last year. And I was like, wow. I have to get involved in this initiative. So this is an initiative. It is. It's an initiative to get the first Latino citywide. So let's make it happen. And here's Ismael Malave.
Voy a decir algo en español primero. Porque es tiempo para elegir un latino, un boricua, a una oficina a nivel de la ciudad de Nueva York. Es tiempo de nosotros. ¿Cuántos años tenemos que esperar para elegir un oficial como yo? Alguien bien preparado, alguien que estudió en Nueva York, alguien que entiende lo que es ser neoyorquino. Yo nací en Puerto Rico y yo llegué de Puerto Rico a Nueva York como un niño de 5 años y todavía hablo español. Y yo fui para la escuela pública y mi mamá estaba en welfare, ¿verdad? Y yo fui como un muchacho para la escuela y nunca dejé de ir a estudiar. Y nunca tampoco dejé de creer en Papá Dios y en la mamá que me estaba creyendo con nada, porque no teníamos nada. Yo viví en 2 edificios que fueron tumbados. Imagínate. 2 edificios en donde yo viví que fueron tumbados. Que si hoy en día que yo voy para allá, esos edificios todavía no están ahí. Hay casas privadas chiquitas, ¿verdad? De 2 o 3 familias, en donde antes había edificios con 2 lados, entrada y todo eso. Con 50 familias en esos edificios. Y ahora hoy en día, mírame a mí. Tengo un bachillerato en economía. Tengo una maestría en negocio. Entiendo lo que quiere decir ser contralor. Porque todos estos años yo he ayudado a mucha gente por tu lado. 5 contralor. Esos son 5 contralor. Esa experiencia nadie me la puede quitar. Y mira, yo era mecánico. Yo fui para la escuela secundaria vocacional para aprender cómo ser mecánico. Ok, me están diciendo que el presidente del condado que está por tu lado para ser contralor de la ciudad sabe español. Pero cuando yo miro en el espejo, yo sé que en mi sangre yo soy boricua. Y nadie me puede quitar eso. Que Dios lo bendiga. Que Dios lo bendiga con sus aspiraciones. Porque yo sé que yo voy a ganar. Si yo llego a la papeleta y yo converso a la gente que tienen a salir a votar, que salgan a votar por uno de los nuestros. Que salgan a votar y hagan lo que tienen que hacer. Elige uno de los nuestros. Tengan fe en Malave. Tengan fe en Malave. Eso es lo que tenemos que decirle a la gente. Que hay un candidato del pueblo postulado. Un candidato de los nuestros, uno de los de ellos. Alguien que entiende lo que quiere decir sufrir y tratar de pagar los biles. Y mira, ahora te lo voy a decir en inglés para que para estar claro. Let me be clear here. Let me be clear. Very clear, my brother. Right? I can speak Spanish too. Un poquito. There you go. That's my bro right there. So, as someone who grew up in New York City, born in Puerto Rico, came to here, New York City, South Bronx, lived in the Bronx all my life, went on to become someone who helped my mom, a single mom, who fled domestic violence, who went from 2 buildings that became condemned into a homeless shelter. And here I am standing before you, someone that worked for 5 comptrollers, 16 years under my belt, 28 years of public service. I know how that office functions. And let me be clear, like I said, I managed close to $2 billion of the real estate portfolio under the Lew administration. I worked for Carl McCall, Alan Hevesy, Tom DiNapoli, Bill Thompson, and John Lew. I also worked for the public advocate Tish James, and I worked for the Board of Education. I used to be an auto mechanic, so I know what it means to struggle. I'm a wrench man at heart. I went to Brooklyn Automotive. I have an economics degree from Lehman College and an MBA from CUNY's Harvard, the Ziegler School of Business at Baruch College. So if there's anyone that's qualified or most qualified for this position, it's me, Ismael Malave. Have faith in my candidacy. Please spread the word. I will be the guy that will protect taxpayer dollars. I will be that person that's going to be batting for you to make sure that your dollars are not mismanaged. Who wants their money to be misappropriated, mismanaged? I will eliminate waste, fraud, and corruption by exercising the power of the audit.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I know what it takes to manage the pension systems. I did it firsthand. The pension system's valued at $283 billion. I'm your guy, especially because I am a pensioner. I'm somebody who is part of the system. I'm invested into the platform. I'm in NICERS. So here I am, somebody that knows one about bonds, one about Wall Street, about economics, about what it takes to manage the city's debt, what it takes to conduct an audit, because I've done audits myself. The most qualified. And I'm asking all New Yorkers, not only Latinos, at the end of the day, the blood that unites us is thicker than the water or the land that divides us. So come out and vote for Ismael Malave Perez as your next New York City Comptroller. I love you all for supporting me. Thank you. Let's spread the word. God bless.